when this bill came before us in committee at first, I was so enthusiastic and thought this is going to actually really turn around what are poor bus services for our local communities currently. And we've got to remember that 12% of people in Wales use a bus at least once a week. 72 million passenger journeys took place in Wales in 2024. But that is still significantly lower than journeys taken in the rest of Great Britain. 4,000 members of staff in Wales are in employment by local, reliant on local bus services. And in England, outside of London, 62,000 are actually employed. And in Scotland, 12,000 are employed within the bus service sector. Buses are the backbone of our communities. They are vital for commuters, school pupils and the elderly, getting to important appointments and things, shopping, lots of different reasons. And we talk so often over the years here about social isolation and people's fear of going out and, obtaining a good bus service is so important. Otherwise, it just contributes to social isolation. There are massive failings now. We've seen our bus services sliced to the bone now. And so we have to do something. Now, I agree with a lot of what my colleague, Sam Rowlands, has said. This bill is not the right vehicle, pardon the pun, in which to deliver a better bus service. But for my small and medium-sized enterprises who are now on the brink of panic because they feel, hold on a minute, if you want to veen, go ahead and do it. Over the last 2 decades, Welsh passenger journeys have declined by a quarter. And we're aware that COVID, was quite unhelpful. But I would have thought by now we would have started to see more bus usage, but we're not. Operating costs have increased due to interest rates, corporation tax, limitations in investment, and additional capital costs. Now, many people have mentioned, and we went, didn't we, to see it in Manchester, and the differences actually between Manchester. I'm not thinking myself personally that was the best model to go and compare to us here in Wales with our rural areas and what have you. So those Welsh passenger journeys have declined. Operating costs have increased as a result of taxes placed on them now. Bus services that the elderly and vulnerable rely on to access hospitals, shops and banks are being withdrawn due to the high cost of running these services. All this is happening under the watch of successive Welsh Labour governments. While action to improve our bus services is undoubtedly needed, franchising, as proposed in the bill, is not the answer and carries significant risk. We saw so many stakeholders come to give evidence. They had nothing to gain by not telling the truth. We had the RNIB, the Guide Dogs for Wales, other major organisations supporting groups for those with disabilities. And frankly, they are really concerned about this current bill. Several concerns were outlined. One of the main concerns was regarding the affordability of the proposals in the bill. And how many times have we all been here and witnessed a new bill coming through with the financial regulations as well, only to find out down the line that it was unaffordable to actually achieve what the bill was saying it wanted to achieve. The committee cautioned that for the ambitions of the bill to be achieved, it needs an ongoing programme of significant investment. I was even told that by other user groups and other people who'd helped in the model in Manchester, that the ambitions of this bill cannot, in the time period that you've allowed for this bill, the expectations cannot be met. Go for it, Lee.
The Finance Committee report notes that the expected benefits of the bill are 5 times greater than its costs over a 30-year horizon, 5 times greater. And in terms of spending, even on current spending, it's estimated, the regulatory impact estimates, a 22% increase in passengers by 2040 on the base network. So I'm afraid your concerns are not backed up by the evidence.
Well, I'm afraid you've said things on other bills going forward, the 20 miles an hour, and look at the actual and real costs of that and what that's going to cost all of. So I've got to be honest, you're not the right person to be telling me this. While the Cabinet Secretary stated that the proposal set on the bill will ultimately lead to savings, as there will be more control over bus service funding is used, it doesn't fully account for the costs of creating the necessary infrastructure or the ongoing costs associated with franchise services. Another concern raised was the impact the contract application process will have. Manchester told us that they've lost a lot of their small and medium-sized enterprises, and I'm not prepared to stand here and see my small and medium-sized bus companies in Aberconwy be sacrificed in this way. 99% of businesses in Wales are SMEs, and we should be considering them. Not that this Welsh Government does consider them on other aspects, but there you go. Lee Robinson, the Executive Director of Transport for Wales, affirmed the importance of SMEs in bus provision during the evidence session, and he urged for more simplicity in the contract design. Many smaller bus companies have fewer staff available to complete these contract bids. How many organisations have we seen where they have individual posts within their companies or organisations to fill those grant application forms out? It's virtually impossible for small and medium-sized enterprises to even get a look in, and I can't support that. One guide dog commented, once again, people with a vision impairment, oh, she's giggling again, are an afterthought.
Giggling at the fact that you said that the guide dog had been commenting.
Guide dogs Cymru, I said. Yeah. I stated the bill fails people with a vision impairment by not embedding enforceable commitments. With what, you're very childish and immature.
I've been extremely generous with you, Janet. You are way over time now.
Right,
so
okay.
If you can bring your remarks.
Well, so I'm just going to ask the Cabinet Secretary. Does the Cabinet Secretary not think there is a different way of promoting franchising? One of the best ways, however, to improve the bus network in Wales is to support our smaller and medium-sized enterprises. Instead of doing away with them, why don't you bring policies forward to actually grow them and allow them to take the role forward? After all, they've been serving us well for many years.